What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Les Alex here, and today I am continuing my series where I give you the 2 best baseball cards to pick up right now on every single team. We're going by division. Today we're talking about the AL West. The AL West is a very top-heavy division. There are some very, very lucrative cards to pick up at the lower end, and on some of the teams like the Mariners and some of the other teams in the division, there's just kind of slim pickings. So because of that, there are going to be some high risk but low price cards in this video. Make sure to smash the like button if you enjoy the content. That is the #1 way to tell YouTube's algorithm that you enjoy this content and that it is valued content by my viewers. And if you're new here and enjoy, of course, hit that subscribe button and the post notification bell icon so you get notified each and every single time I post a video. I'm trying to make new videos every single day of quarantine. The numbers have been popping. My subscribers have been going through the roof. Thank you so much. I appreciate each and every single person who hit that subscribe button and who has been watching recently. I appreciate you. But without further ado, let's get into it. AL West, 2 players from every single team. Super excited about this one. There are some amazing players on this list. First up, I want to talk about the Seattle Mariners. This team is one of those teams that is super duper slim pickings just because, I mean, who do they have on that team that could really, really make money? It's slim pickings. But I do think there are a couple of minor league guys that haven't yet hit the bigs that you could buy their Bowman first and flip them for a profit either right after or right before they make it to the bigs. So for that reason, the first player I want to talk about is Jared Kelenic. Now, Jared Kelenic is the player that the Mets sent in the Robinson Cano deal. He was the main piece in that deal for the Mariners to receive. He's an outfielder with some pop, plays good defense. He is ranked as a tier 1 prospect, and he's the highest ranked prospect in the Mariners' entire organization. So for that reason, got to give it to him, and his prices are pretty cheap. So let's kick it over to eBay Completed, and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about with Jared Kelenic. Alrighty, here on eBay Completed, right here, this is it. This is the Bowman Chrome. Of course, I'll have the picture on the screen, but right here, Jared Kelenic, 2008 Bowman Draft First. This is a refractor that sold for less than $25 plus $4 shipping. So, you know, right around that $30, $32 after shipping and everything. Refractors, 3 for $45. Not bad. Here's a Psa 9 for $24. This is just a regular. If your budget's a little bigger, you could go after the auto or something like the Psa 10 refractor. So this is a really cool one. I always love they kind of look like the Sapphires. If you're looking for the non-refractor, non-graded, you want to be right in the $10 range, $10 to $15 range. So Jared Kelenic is the first player for the Seattle Mariners. All right, the next player for the Mariners, just like Kelenic, has not played a game in the major leagues yet. So yes, both of these players are high risk, but typically pretty inexpensive at this point. Julio Rodriguez, the Mariners and a player named Rodriguez. The last time that happened, turned out pretty good. This guy played in high A ball last season, and he absolutely destroyed the competition. I know it's A ball, so you never know with that. But I know it's high A ball, so put into as much stock as you want into that. But still, he destroyed the competition. I'll put his stats on the screen, but let's kick it over to eBay Completed. All right, so Julio Rodriguez, put his stats on the screen and everything. Julio Rodriguez, 2019 Bowman Chrome Prospect. First is the pick, $19.99 buy it now. These are not completed, but just to show you how cheap these are right now, $15. This one was a chrome. It doesn't look chrome, though. Sometimes make sure that the card is actually chrome, because what some sellers will do is say it's chrome and not actually be the chrome version. This one actually is, so that's good. It didn't really look like it. But you definitely have to be careful about that because you can get got. Here's one for under 20, another one for $24.99. So you see, right in the $15 to $25 range is where you want to be at, I think, on Julio Rodriguez. Again, had a monster season in high A. Only a few months, but absolutely crushed it. Really, really high on him. He is one of the highest prospects in their entire organization. J-Rod, I mean, what else can you say? He is the second pick for the Seattle Mariners. And the next team is the Texas Rangers, which are yet again another team with slim pickings, I would say, put it nicely. But they do have some guys who, even in their big league system, have some high upside, and one player even who is very, very popular despite some of his offensive shortcomings. And I'm going to give you actually 3 on this team. The other pick that I'm not going to go into too much detail on, but I would definitely suggest taking a look at, is Nick Solak. His Topps 2020 is going for right around $2 or $3. You can get him on eBay. I definitely think Nick Solak is one of the better players that people are just sleeping on for Topps 2020. I just had a video come out, the best 5 Topps 2020 rookies to go after. I'll put it in a card right up there. Make sure to check that out. So Nick Solak. But the first actual pick for the Rangers is a prospect by the name of Josh Jung. He mashes. He absolutely barrels up balls and makes very, very good contact with them. Again, hasn't made it to the MLB yet, but has a very bright future and is the top prospect in their organization. I'm really excited about him. He's 6'2", 215. This is a high-risk pick. Let's get on over to eBay completed. So Josh Jung, Bowman Chrome 2019. You want to, again, be going after the Chrome first. $3 for a lot of 2. Here's another lot of 2 for $6. Here's a refractor and a regular Chrome first that sold for under $25. So basically, you want to be right in $1 to $5 on these guys. He's definitely got a bright future. Again, prospects are always a risk, but I really do believe that Josh Jung is probably the second best pickup for the Texas Rangers. All right, next up is finally a guy that has played some games in the MLB and at a pretty respectable clip. I'm talking about the most popular player on the Rangers, Joey Gallo. Now, Joey Gallo has been compared to Chris Davis and Adam Dunn and these kind of 3 outcome guys. He either strikes out, he walks, or he mashes a home run. He doesn't hit for a high average, but he is insanely popular. So for that reason, my number 1 pick for the Rangers is Joey Gallo, the home run machine. So eBay completed, we have a bunch of Topps Update. So Topps Update is the one you want here. We have right here sold on May 14th, so just a couple days ago. We have a 2015 Topps Update Joey Gallo blue jersey, PSA 10 for less than $45. Scroll on down for just raws. You want to be right around $4, $2 to $5 for the raws. For the PSA 10s, you want to be in the $25 to $45 range. Obviously, $45 on a bad day, $25 if it's your lucky day. So Joey Gallo absolutely mashes home runs, and he, again, I cannot stress how important a player's popularity outshines in some instances, in a lot of instances really, how productive they are. Because of how popular Joey Gallo is, it really, really can drive the price. Is he a Hall of Famer? Probably not yet at this point, obviously. Will he be? Probably not. But because of how popular he is, if he comes out of the gates and say in 2021 he hits 50 home runs, there's an uptick. There's a spike. And I really do believe just because of how popular Joey Gallo is, he really does have the highest potential of any of these players on the Rangers roster currently. All right, next up is the team that not many hobbyists are really wanting to touch, myself included. The Houston Astros, just with the whole cheating scandal and the stealing signs thing, not a lot of people, again, including myself, are not going after any of those hitters from that 2017 team. If they were on that team, I just will not touch them right now. I think that some of the top-end guys like Correa and Altuve could be profitable later down in their careers, but right now I'm just not willing to touch them. Therefore, we have to look and get a little bit creative. Luckily, they have one of the best pitchers of the generation in Justin Verlander. He is, in my opinion, an absolute lock. Justin Verlander, Rookie of the Year, an MVP as a pitcher, which is insanely hard to do. 2 Cy Youngs, the pitching Triple Crown. The 2017 World Series, obviously, he won it. They're not taking the title away, so he does have a ring, and he's won the ERA title. He's a lock for the Hall of Fame, just about as much of a lock as a pitcher that you can get nowadays. So Justin Verlander, let's kick it over to eBay Completed, and you will be surprised, much like a lot of these pitchers nowadays, on just how cheap his cards can be. So I first wanted to show you the Gem Mint 10 PSAs. This is the 2005 Topps draft picks. Here we have $230, $230, $189, $214, $225, $180. So right in that range for the PSA 10s. This is a good price. I really do think as soon as he hits the Hall of Fame, his price is going to spike. And of course, with all Hall of Famers, their price steadily takes a gradual climb over time. This is not a short-term flip, but this is a long-term, very safe, in my opinion, investment. He has a World Series. He's got multiple Cy Youngs. And if, for some reason, if the Astros do get stripped of that World Series title, which I personally do not think is going to happen, but if it does, he has so many good seasons under his belt and did most of his accolades, most of his personal accolades at least, on his own merit in Detroit, that I believe he is still a lock for the Hall of Fame. Could the 2017 scandal get in the way? Yes, it honestly, it could. We know how tough the voting committee is on the steroid users of the late 80s and 90s. So, yeah, that cheating scandal could definitely get in the way of his Hall of Fame bid, but I personally think his resume before that time said so much, and we know he wasn't juicing or anything like that. All right, so here are some raws. This is the Justin Verlander, again, 2005 Topps draft pick number 677. Here's a raw one. Sold for $30 a day ago. Decent price for a Hall of Famer, in my opinion. We have another one that sold for just under $45. Good price. If they got it for 40, if they got it for 30, that's really good. And again, you want to get the draft picks ones. It seems to be the more popular ones with the collectors. Therefore, you got to go with the most popular one. And it is the draft picks. You see right here, a different version right here. PSA 10 only selling for $60. A budget investor could obviously buy this and flip it eventually, but it won't be at quite the same price. And it's not so much more expensive to just get the raw one and have it graded. Remember, when you're looking at raw ones, you want to make sure the centering's great and they have sharp corners. Obviously, looking at a picture, it can be a crapshoot. I just got a card in that I ordered on eBay that I thought looked great, and it has some surface damage. That's going to be in a future mail day video. It's very hard to tell just from pictures, but make sure you're doing your due diligence and try and do the very best you can at scoping these cards out before you actually pull the trigger and hit that buy button. So yeah, right around the $30 to $35 range for his raw, and then right in between $180 to $225, $230-ish for his PSA 10s. The next player for the Astros was in my other video, the top 5 best Topps 2020 rookies. It's Yordan Alvarez. Again, he had nothing to do with that scandal back in 2017, and his cards are just absolutely dirt cheap. So if we take a look here at the completed, here's one for $5, and that's about where you want to be at. Here's one that sold for $1 with $4 shipping, so right there in the $5 range. Here's one that sold for 50 cents with $3.50. That's a really good deal. But basically, with Yordan, you want to be right in between $1 and $6. Obviously, buy as low as you can, sell as high as you can. But Yordan Alvarez, I think he had an absolute monster season. Last year was actually his true rookie year. But with these 2020 rookies, there aren't a lot of PSAs out there because obviously, you know, PSA has been shut down because of the whole everything that's going on right now. So you want to get raws that you think are super duper clean, submit them to SCG or to PSA yourself. Again, same thing, centering, corners, edges, all looking pristine before you hit that buy button. But Yordan Alvarez had himself a monster year, and that's why he's my top pick for the Houston Astros. All right, next up we have the Oakland Athletics, and they got some very good picks, in my opinion. The first one and the biggest one, in my opinion, is going to be Matt Chapman. Matt Chapman is a Gold Glover time and time again. He got to his first All-Star last year. He's a Platinum Gold Glove winner. He's a beast. I've already bought a lot of his cards, a couple of his PSA 10s, and since I did my mail opening day video, I'm not saying I'm the reason, of course, but his PSA 10s are starting to steadily tick up. I think he could be our generation's version of Brooks Robinson. So therefore, for the Athletics, my first pick, my number one pick, is going to be Matt Chapman, the third baseman. Here on eBay Completed, we have 2017 Topps Update Series number 4. We have a PSA 9. We have a Topps Chrome that sold for $50. Holy smokes. That shot up a lot from the last couple of weeks. Here's another Chrome. Here's a Raw that sold for $10. You could buy these for right around $4 or $5 just a month ago. Just a month ago, you could buy these for $4 to $5. Here's a 10 for $41. This is a Chrome. A lot of Chromes on these. A lot of Chromes on these. Remember, the Chromes do typically grade a little bit better than the papers, so the pop reports are typically going to be higher on the Chromes, but sometimes that doesn't matter just because a lot of people love Chrome cards, so keep that in mind. Here's a PSA 9 for $11. So here's a PSA 10 that sold for $51 on the 9th. I would try and get them for less than that. $51 seems fine long term, but if you're trying to make a little short term flip, try and get them for around $35 to $40 for the PSA 10s. Now, the Raws you want to do right in between $5 to $10. It's crazy how these have spiked over the last couple of weeks. Here we have one for $1, but it was $4 shipping, and that's pretty typical. But sometimes with the higher price points, you'll see lower shipping prices. So Matt Chapman is the number one pick for the Oakland Athletics. All right, next up is Marcus Semien. Marcus Semien had one of the highest WARs in all of baseball last season. He really had a breakout year last year. His defense is improving, and because of that, he's going to be my number 2 pick for the Oakland Athletics. So here we go, 2014 Series 1, Marcus Semien. Right here, $3. $3, you could buy this right now. Not a bad price. Not a bad price. Here's one for $1 and $1 shipping. So that's $2 total, maybe $2.50 after tax and everything. Marcus Semien, he's a beast. Check his stats out. He's definitely on the rise. He's a little bit older. That's the only reason I'm kind of hesitant on him. I believe he's 28, so he is a little bit older. But that A's core is super good. They won 97 games in 2019, and they had a playoff appearance. So because of that, I'm definitely high on the A's players. You want to buy these Raws right in the dollar range. They're super duper cheap. Again, the PSA 10s, there's not many of them. There's not many of them because he's kind of a breakout player. I'm sure they're starting to pop up. So I would say if you could buy him under $15 is probably an excellent price for Marcus Semien. He's a stud. He's a stud. But again, keep in mind, he's a little bit older than a lot of the other players on this list. Marcus Semien is my second pick for the Oakland Athletics. All right, the last team in the AL West is, of course, the Los Angeles Angels. In my opinion, are starting to really put something pretty special together with that massive 12-year, $430 million contract that Mike Trout signed. It was understood that the team were going to put together a team that can compete for a championship, and the very last thing that the Angels want is to have a mad or an angry Mike Trout. So for that reason, I do believe that these three players are going to be pretty good picks for you. The first one that I want to talk about is a no-brainer, but it's very, very expensive. Even raw, these are selling for $1,000. It's going to be the Mike Trout 2011 Topps Update. PSA 10s jumped recently from about $1,500 to $3,000 to $3,500. Obviously, if budget is not in your vocabulary, go out and pick that up because I think he's a lock for a Hall of Famer almost already. He has a 72 career WAR already at this point in his career. He could retire today and walk straight into Cooperstown, in my opinion. So Mike Trout, Topps PSA 10, or the raw is even going for $700 to $800. So again, if you got the money, by all means, ball out and get you a Mike Trout. Next up, I want to tell you about a player, again, who has not played in the MLB. Because, let's face it, the Angels are a team with a lot of good hobby picks. We have Shohei Otani. Obviously, a few seasons ago, back in 2018, his card was the belle of the ball. He was definitely the player to pick up. He's had some injuries now, so I'm not too sold on him, which is why he's not going to make the list. And Anthony Rendon is obviously a sleeper. If you can pick them up for real super cheap, pick them up. But my first official pick for the Angels is going to be Jo Adell. Jo Adell is their top prospect and one of the top 10 prospects in all of baseball. So Jo Adell here. This is the 2017 Jo Adell Bowman Chrome draft prospect. First, this is, again, 2017. Here was a lot that sold for under 30, so maybe $15 a pop. Here was a refractor that sold for less than 40. Here's a draft chrome that sold for 18. I think you want to be in the $12 to $20 range. Obviously, as low as possible, the better. Don't get confused by some of these non-firsts, these 2018 chromes. Those are not going to fetch the same price. Here's one that sold for 20. If we're talking PSA 10, here's one that sold today for $47. Another one that sold for $50, so right between $45, $55 for the PSA 10s. Jo Adell is my first pick, not named Mike Trout, for the Los Angeles Angels. All right, last but not least, and there's a reason I saved him for the very last one. I just wrote an article for redcapesports.com about this player's cards. He's an absolute beast. In fact, he's a machine. Of course, I'm talking about Albert Pujols. For those that are younger collectors and investors, you might only know Albert Pujols as the Robin to Mike Trout's Batman. However, for us a little bit more experienced or older collectors, we all know that in the 2000s, this man was an absolute beast and was rightfully nicknamed the Machine. He's got 3 MVPs. He's won the World Series twice. I mean, he's an absolute stud. He even has a Gold Glove. He is my number 1 pick for not only the Angels, but this entire division. In my opinion, Albert Pujols has about 3 potential spikes left. Let's say the Angels do go in and just spend all the money, right? They just spend all the money and they go in. They win a World Series. His card's just naturally going to go up because of the hype. The next spike is going to be if he reaches 700 home runs, his card's going to go up. He's going to be only one of 4 players in the entire MLB history to hit 400. And then, of course, once he gets inducted into Cooperstown, into the Hall of Fame, his prices will go up yet again. And from there, they will just slowly trickle, just like every other Hall of Famer in existence's cards. So let's kick it on over to eBay Completed. The main card I'm focusing in on is the 2001 Bowman number 264. The Bowman Chrome is insanely expensive because it's an auto. It's the only version that they have is the Bowman Chrome Auto. I believe you just can't get a bad Pujols rookie. They all look pretty good. This is the one, though, that I like a lot. It's a Bowman. That is the brand. Bowman or Topps. Personally, the Topps flagship or the Topps traded, just in my opinion, doesn't look good. The green border is just not it for me. I also like the upper deck. Pricing wise with these, you want to be right around between 35 and 50 for the raw. The PSA 10s just took a massive spike, went from about $400 a month ago to the only one on eBay was at the time an auction, and it was at about $770. So it's very expensive. Obviously, if budget isn't a concern, I still think that's a fair price. I think that is a very fair price. For the raws, again, 35 to $50. They're starting to creep up. Again, this is a card that is extremely hard to grade because, as you can see, it has black borders. Black borders are very rough, especially on a card this old. You want to inspect it with a very keen eye. And then for the PSAs, I would be going after, and I am going after, the 9s because once all the 10s are dried up and people are priced out of the 10s, what's the next best thing? The PSA 9s. This is the one that I was watching for $770. It turns out it finished, as you can see, for $1,031 today. That ended. I was watching that, not spending that kind of money, obviously, but that shows you a month ago, there's a $600 price jump. Simply put, one of the best ball players in the history of the game. This is a very low risk, high reward player if you get in while the getting is good. Here's a PSA mint 9 for $197. I think that's a fine deal. If you can get them between $170 and $200, I think it's a fine deal. I honestly think even higher than that would probably be good, just because he does have so many potential spikes, and even if he falls short of that 700 home runs, he's still going to be a lock for the Hall of Fame. That does it. That does it for the entire video. If you enjoyed, make sure to like this video. Again, it is the #1 way to show your support and to tell YouTube's algorithms that it is valued content. If you're new here, you made it this far, hit that subscribe button and hit that post notification bell icon so you don't miss a single one of my videos. I appreciate all the support recently. I really do. I know I said it at the beginning. I'm going to say it here again. I thank you all. You're all amazing. Check me out on Twitter and Instagram @LessAlex. And until next time, keep cracking packs, keep collecting, and I'll see you in the next one.